Hey guys, this is Sean again with another episode of the Heavy Shield, and this is episode 12 called PID, or Positive Identification. In this episode, we're going to be talking about recognizing potential triggers, mostly for anger, before they hit. Um, I know a lot of us have anger issues, and it can be a myriad of things that trigger us. And I know, before I go any further, I know the word trigger has come to mean something completely different. It's become a political term to trigger snowflakes and all that fucking bullshit. Um, that's not what I'm talking about. When I talk about trigger, I mean uh, the psychological actual terminology and meaning. Um, so recognizing things that can trigger your anger reflex, your fight or flight reflex, um, things that we as combat vets develop over time or quickly while we're downrange, and we have a hard time disassociating from when we're back here in the States and non-combat situations. Um, so for me, one of the biggest things is driving on the road. Uh, year, a few years ago, back before I moved back here to South Carolina, when I still lived in Washington, just after I left active duty, I the job I had at the time, I was manager at a sporting goods store, and driving to and from work, it was just each way. It was just 15 minutes of me screaming at the windshield because of fucking retards on the road, and I mean literally screaming at the windshield. Slow down, speed up, get the fuck out of my way, turn on your fucking signal light. Uh, it was uh, even to this day, it's a struggle to not scream at my windshield because of all the fucking morons on the road. Um, so one thing I've learned to do, especially with long road trips, even with short road trips. I mean, right now with my current job, I work in a clinic, and I also work at I bounce back and forth between my primary clinic, which is about 20 minutes away, and then once in a while I cover down at our sister clinic, which is about 8 minutes away. Seriously, it's like kick a rock and hit my job. Um, so even within that 8 minutes, I know I'm gonna see a bunch of fucking morons on the road doing 10 miles below the speed limit, taking half an hour to take a fucking right turn like they're driving a goddamn Exxon Valdez. Uh, just stupid fucking people on the road. So one thing that's helped me is well, there are a few things that help me deal with this kind of road rage, and I say road rage um, because there's really no other term for it, and I don't mean it in the way that I'm literally gonna step out my car on the road and shoot somebody. It's just I get enraged and I'm driving on a road. So there are a few things that I've learned to do to minimize this road rage. It hasn't completely gone away. I still, motherfucker, this fucking asshole didn't want to use his fucking left turn lane. Use his left turn signal. God damn it. Use your fucking left turn signal before you start turning. It signals your intent to turn. Don't flip it on when you're halfway through your fucking turn. Right? Shit like that. Okay? Just for an example, not that I've ever screamed that at my windshield. But before I leave the house, I do a few things. One is I make sure I leave in plenty of time to get where I'm going. It's kind of a added benefit of having been in the military for so long. It's been kind of been beaten into me. Um, if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late, kind of thing. So be 15 minutes prior to the 15 minutes prior, all that kind of bullshit. So it is a, um, I don't want to say horrific, but it is a very scary feeling to me when I arrive to work or some kind of appointment, something anywhere where I got to be somewhere at a certain time, and I get there right at that time, especially if I'm late. Oh, it's just the worst feeling in the world. The worst feeling in the world for me is waking up and then seeing sunlight streaming through my blinds, knowing that I'm supposed to be somewhere super early, and I just know right off the bat I'm fucking late. Oh, it that shit wakes me up before my alarm does. Fuck, I'm late. So, I have tried to learn to take it to the extreme. Be Leave well early. If I have to get to wherever I need to be, whether it's work or an appointment or whatever it is, uh, I come prepared. I bring a book. Um, some of you young assholes may not know what the fuck a book is, so you got your phone on you already. Be prepared to spend some time, killing time, uh, once you get to where you need to be before you have to actually go inside. Because if you leave it till the last minute, yeah, all you're gonna do is be screaming at everyone else on the road. Get the fuck out of my way, you motherfucker! Why the fuck are you driving so slow? Blah blah blah. It's just blood pressure goes up, pulse goes up, your anxiety levels go up. It's a bad feeling. So leave in plenty of time. If it takes you 20 minutes to get there, leave half an hour before you need to be there. Leave plenty of cushion so when you do meet those assholes, uh, it doesn't affect you getting to where you need to be on time. Um, Including if you have to stop and get gas on the way. Uh, it's really hard for me to stop on the way home to get gas. Again, like I've talked about in other episodes, when I talk about my bunker complex, I just want to get from point A to point B, especially when I'm going home, and I don't want to stop anywhere on the way home. I just want to get home and climb inside my bunker. All right, so that's a hard time to stop and get gas, and it's even harder to plan for that, or suddenly remember halfway to work you're like, oh fuck, I'm running on fumes, I need to get gas. So again, plan for that. Either lately it's I've started doing it on the way home because I would much rather stop and get gas on the way home than forget in the morning, and I think I left myself plenty of time, but now all of a sudden I get in the car, start it up, and oh shit, I'm on E, or I'm on less than a quarter tank, and now I got to stop on the way to work, and that just throws my whole rhythm off, right? Because one of the things I do before I ever leave the house is I I don't do it every time, but I try and do it most times, especially on long road trips. I do. If I'm going to Columbia, it's about 45 minutes, an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes away. Uh, I stop and think before I even leave the house. There's going to be a lot of assholes on the road. They're going to do dumb shit like brake suddenly. They're going to do 40 and a 55. They're going to try and merge onto the interstate. I'm doing 75, and they're going to try and merge on the interstate doing 40. They're going to drive in the fast lane doing 10 to 15 miles under the speed limit. they get it in your mind ahead of time that there's going to be a bunch of fucktards in your way, uh, and embrace the suck. That's the best way I can put it. Embrace the suck before you get on the road, before you get into the suck, right? Um, so it's not a surprise, and by surprise, I mean we all know there be people that can't drive worth a fucking shit, uh, for myriad of reasons, and in myriad of ways. Um, but for some reason, every time we get on the road, it's a surprise. Oh, there's fucktards on the road. Who'd have thunk it? No, there's always dumbasses on the road. But if you take a few minutes before you even leave the house and think, I'm going to meet a bunch of assholes on the road. Therefore, I need to leave early. I need to get in my mind that this is what I'm going to encounter. Um, and I may not be able to drive as fast as I want to, or in the same lane for as long as I want to. I may have to switch lanes and switch over to slow lane to pass some cocksucker in the fast lane that's doing 10 miles below the speed limit. I'm definitely going to meet that asshole. So realize that in your mind before you leave the road. And so when you do meet that cocksucker, it's not a surprise. You're not going, what the fuck? Are you serious? You're that asshole? Fuck you. Get the fuck out of him. Get it through your mind before you even leave. And another thing is, bring a book, have videos or books you can read on your phone. Once you get to where you're going, because you're going to get there early. I guarantee it. If you follow these steps, 1, leave earlier than you think you have to. 2, realize before you ever leave the house that you're going to meet a bunch of fucktards on the road. And just, I know this is going to happen. So when it does happen, it's not a surprise. And just go, oh, yep, there you are. Trying to merge onto an interstate doing 35. Yep. Saw you coming. And you just get out of their way and you go about your day. I'm not saying it's a perfect system. It doesn't work 100% of the time, 60% of the time. But it definitely helps, especially like I said on longer road trips. If you're going a few minutes down the road to the grocery store, who cares, right? But anything, well, for me personally, but between 10 minutes and a few hours, it does help, especially the leaving early part. And then again, realizing they're going to run into dickheads on the way. And the same thing goes for work. It's not just driving. Once you get to work, depending on what your job is, if you run a chance, especially like say you work in retail, they used to drive me nuts. I used to meet all kinds of assholes and people that were bound and determined to be in a bad mood hours before they stepped into my store, and I would let them affect my day because it came out of nowhere and I should have seen it coming. I work in fucking retail, or worked in retail. So one thing that could have helped me back then was realizing, hey, I'm going into work 8 hours. Probably 85% of the people I meet today are going to be dicks. Realize it, internalize it, get it over with, and then go into work and then go, oh, there you are. There you are. I was waiting for you all day. Let me help you and get on with my day. Same thing with going to movies. Realize that there's going to be a long line of fucktards that are suddenly magically forget everything they ever liked eating at a movie theater, even though I've known what I like eating in a movie theater since I was fucking 6 years old. Um, Realize before you even get to the theater that there's going to be those morons that sit there and decide on what the fuck they want to eat or drink in a movie theater uh, when they're in line ahead of you. Uh, same thing goes for movie gatherings, going to the beach, fishing, whatever the situation that you're going to is. Just before you even leave the house, one, plan on leaving at least half an hour before you have to be there. Half an hour is a good time, good chunk uh, to uh, plan on adding to your trip time on the front end. Uh, just because you never know what might get in your way. And the last thing you want to do is be screaming at your windshield or screaming at the people, get out of my fucking way, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. And the other thing is, think about all the things that could potentially or will potentially piss you off. Either getting from point A to point B or things that will happen once you get to point B. Um, and think about those. What's going to possibly piss me off? I'm going to this family event, and this family member always pisses me the fuck off. Always says the wrong thing. So, what might they say that will fuck everybody's day up or fuck my day up? And think about all the worst case scenarios, right? Once you think about them, you don't have to sit there and write out a dialogue or a monologue of what you're going to say. If this motherfucker says this, I'll say that. If this dick says that, I'll say this. You don't have to think about that. Just, I mean, don't go that far down a rabbit hole. But just realize that, hey, there might be some fucktard uncle or whatever that's going to say some racist shit or whatever the case may be, and just be prepared for it. So that you can, once you're in the moment, it's easier for you to respond. I guarantee it's easier for you to respond. Either you've locked and loaded a couple rounds in a magazine for you to fire off because you know this asshole always says shit like this, and you can go, you know what? When this dick says this, I'll say that, and it'll diffuse the situation or shut him or her up, whatever the case may be, versus you just flipping tables when they say what you know they're going to say, and then later on you go, oh man, I should have said this. That would have been fucking awesome. So, like I said, running through scenarios beforehand can be very helpful. Kind of prepares you for the worst, and then when that worst doesn't happen, you go, oh well, maybe it wasn't that bad. I can just keep my fucking mouth shut and get through the workday or the family function or whatever. But what this all boils down to is that it doesn't matter what you're trying to prepare yourself for. What it all boils down to is the realization that you're not always in control. Shit's always going to happen. Somebody's going to get in your way, whether it's on the road or on foot. I mean, how many was walked into Walmart and had somebody walk in front of us and just stop and fucking look around, or refuse to hold a door open or look behind them walking into a restaurant, refuse to look behind them to see if any they need to hold a door open for somebody else. And shit like that used to just fucking enrage me. But now again, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I've found the end-all be-all cure for anger management. But just, if I know I'm going out to, eat at Red Lobster or whatever, that's one of the things I fucking think of beforehand is they're going to be dicks on the road. I'm going to walk up to the restaurant. Somebody's going to walk up ahead of me and not look behind them and see if there's somebody they need to hold the door open for. They're not going to clear the doorway. Um, they're just going to be selfish fucking pricks. Um, so knowing that going into it, it again, it's not a cure-all, but it does help alleviate those fucking moments when you just want to flip tables or start filling a restaurant with uppercuts. Um, and you can't plan everything to the minute. I'm going to leave at this time, get there at this time, and walk inside the building at this time. Shit always happens. There's always more traffic, less traffic. There's an accident. Some asshole got pulled over. Some dickhead doing 45 in a 60, and there's no way to pass. I mean, it's just there's way too many in the way people. I am so pro COVID at this point. It's not even funny. But one again, it's one thing that's helped is realizing that there's so many assholes out there. And granted, I'm definitely an asshole to somebody else. I may be, rocking up behind somebody and I want to do 55 and a 45, and they go, well, the speed limit says 45, so I can't go any faster than that. Why are you on my ass? Fuck this guy. What a dick. And I might ruin their day. I don't know. So, again, this is not an end all be all. This is not this is how to be a perfect person. But this is an attempt to positively identify anger triggers for you and to potentially avoid them. Hope this helped somebody. And if you're that dickhead on the road doing 40 and a 55, it's the long, skinny one on the right. That's it for today, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.